I've done a bunch of posts lately about how much I love to cook, how tasty the food is, and how quick and easy it is to cook. So I thought I'm going to record, I was just sitting there writing, and I thought I'm going to record making a stew. So I've done nothing to prepare. I cleaned the dishes that were in the sink. And I know that I have a bunch of food in my fridge, so I'm going to make one of my vegetable stews, and this is with zero preparation. So let's get started. First, the pressure cooker is the main thing, and so the first thing I do, I'll do a lentil-based stew first. Lentils, bought by the pound. So I put a bunch in the pressure cooker container. Next, garlic. Now, I don't know if you can see in the fridge. Zucchini, summer squash, eggplant. No, I'll go with extra zucchini. I get these plastic bags at the store near me. They collect plastic bags that are used, and I take out of that. So I don't get these bags new, but I store the vegetables in them. So I know that I have some already washed kale, collard greens, I let the bag dry and I just reuse the bags for a while. Habanero, thyme. I'll just put that right in. Okay, in this bag, I don't know, there's more. Here's some chard. These rubber bands I save and I give to the store. Okay, so the chard, very colorful, so I like to put that in. Gotta wash it. Some beets, I always like beets. There's 3 here, but I want to save 1 for making bread with. So I'll put 1 in. Although I think I have another beet in there, in the fridge. There's another bag. Oh, I have a giant beet in here. More chard and some lettuce. I'm going to put the lettuce on top, not on the bottom. All right, I'm going to put in normally I'd have some onions, but I don't have any onions now. I'll put in some more chard. If there's enough space, I'll cut up some more zucchini and put the zucchini in later. Okay. Looks good. Okay, I think that's what I'm gonna put in. Oh, always nibble. Okay. This is what takes the longest, is washing the vegetables. Possibly because I put the water on as little as I need to get the job done. When I see people put the water on full blast, it seems like a lot of waste. This stuff, I don't even know what it is. It tastes like zucchini. I think it's zucchini. Maybe summer squash. And maybe this would be faster if I filled up a bowl and just dunked it, but whatever, this is how it works. I mean, this works. Also, what I like to do is I nibble a lot. If this are spinach or collard greens, which are sweeter, I eat a lot more of the stems. It's gotten to be, if I do it with spinach or collard greens where I eat more of the stems, I'm usually full by the time I start cooking. Anyway, this is like the boring part, but it's pretty quick. Sometimes when I cook with zucchini, see, why do I pick lentils? I pick lentils because they cook in about 7 minutes, and that's the fastest to cook. And of course, faster, I like faster, is more convenient for me. Zucchini cooks in like 3 minutes. So what I sometimes do is I cook the lentils for 4 minutes, then let it depressurize, put in the zucchini, and then cook it for another 3 minutes. Then the zucchini comes out with a little bit of a little more crunch to it, less, and there's more texture to it. But today, just to make it a little easier, I'm going to put everything in at once. Okay. Then it's basically just put everything in. So I just chop. This is the fruit side, this is the non-fruit side, so I was cutting on the wrong side. Which is not a problem with the collard greens, but is with the garlic. By the way, I put all the, this is a bowl that I put my compost in. When this fills up, which I don't think it's going to now, I put the compost in the freezer. And then every week on Saturday, or no, every other week, I don't know, when that fills up, I take that to the park near me. It's about a 10-minute walk, and I drop off the compost and they talk to people who take it to the farmers. I'm not sure how much there is to say while I'm cooking. Just peeling the garlic. I read that garlic skin is healthy, so I get most of it off, but not all of it. Because after it goes through the pressure cooker, if I leave some garlic skin on, you can't tell that there's, I don't know, you can't tell that there's garlic skin in it. So if it's healthy, why not leave it in? But somehow I can't stop myself from taking the garlic peel off. This is funny doing a cooking show. I hope it's still recording. There's no light on there. Let me check again. It said it was still going, so I think it's still going. Chop some garlic, put it in. I still cut the garlic pretty finely, even though I've never seen big chunks come out of the pressure cooker. Force of habit, I guess. So I generally think of this as being not fun like going out and dancing, but you know, it's more fun than waiting to be seated at a restaurant. I feel like actually like I'm doing something right now. And when I invite people over to do this, then you know I can talk and have a conversation while I'm doing this. And almost always they bring over some alcohol, so maybe we could chat and have a drink while doing this, or nibble on vegetables or nuts or something like that. So I hope this is interesting to you guys watching. The point is I'm not doing this to entertain, but just to show that it's pretty quick and easy to have what I consider a very wholesome meal, and I find very delicious pretty quickly. I always eat, you know, last summer was the first time I'd ever cooked with collard greens. I didn't really know what to do with them. The CSA that I get all these vegetables from organized a day when you could go up to the farm and visit the farm. And there was collard greens growing there. And I asked them, could I try it? And they said, sure. And so I picked up a big leaf. Basically a leaf like this, and I just took a bite of the stem, and I'd never done this before, and I was surprised to find that it was delicious. I mean, really, really good. I don't know if you ever had the stem of a collard green plant, leaf, but they're delicious. It's like spicy, kind of horseradishy, kind of cabbagey. So that was really good. And ever since then, when I make collard greens, I just eat the stem. And as best I can tell, it's about as healthy as you can get. So delicious, nutritious. I always eat it raw. If you think that's weird, that's your business. I'm fine eating it. And I see that I've washed more vegetables than necessary. The reason I had pre-washed vegetables in the first place was that yesterday I cooked and I just look at the vegetables and think these look really delicious, and so I start thinking, all right, and I start making them all. I mean, I wash too much, then I'm just ready for the next time. Okay, so beets, I don't know if you know, you can eat the stems. compost this. And a little bit of the hairy root stuff. Now I always nibble on some of the beet. I mean, look at that. I don't know if you can see the red color. It's super sweet. I never used to eat beet before, but it's become one of the many things that I enjoy. So, preparing the stuff is part of the meal. The idea of getting takeout to me is now weird. It's like, it takes a long time, you end up with tons of garbage. It's not as healthy. Let's get this habanero in here. I might not be able to fit all the chard in, and probably won't, but you gotta put the habanero in. I used to like putting hot sauce on things, but then when I started using jalapenos, I started liking the flavor a lot more, and it seemed more, getting stuff from the root. But they weren't that spicy, so I switched to habaneros. And I'm surprised. I thought like habaneros was something like, it didn't seem like something you would just like put in food by yourself, but it turns out it's like very easy to cook with them. So I hope this isn't too boring, watching me chop vegetables. But again, it's not doing this for entertainment, I'm doing this so that you can see it's really easy to cook, no preparation, super healthy, super delicious. All right, see this is almost full. Turns out probably one zucchini is all that's going to fit. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'll chop up some extra zucchini. As this stuff cooks, it shrinks. So after the whole thing finishes, I'll put some cut zucchini in that won't get the full pressure cook cooking, but it'll soften it, and so I'll have a couple different textures. How do I know this? Just from doing it. No one's told me this stuff, it's just that you realize they have different cooking times, and so you figure out ways of cooking them in different amounts. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, I can put more zucchini in here. Actually, I'll put the chard in because of what I just said about putting the zucchini in later. So I hope it's still recording. The instruction book says to put in salt. Don't put in salt before you cook, so I don't. And so therefore I have all these spices that I could put in, but I put them all in later. Okay, so I just put water in. I don't know exactly how much to put in. So I put in enough water, at least to cover the lentils, and a little bit more, because I want to cook the lentils, but I don't need a lot of water to cook the vegetables. And the less water I put in, the faster it warms up. Okay, so I unplug it when it's not in use to save energy. Put that on pressure, high pressure. That's all the preparation time necessary. This is going to be done in a few minutes because I want to put in some more zucchini. This is kind of bonus, get more out of it than I put in. More out of the pressure cooker than I put in. So I'm going to cook up some, chop up some zucchini. By the way, this was in the fridge, and it's these in-season cherries and blueberries. I can't tell you how good these taste. Like, I didn't know blueberries could have this much flavor. In New York, the stands, they normally have sweet cherries. But from the CSA, I've gotten these sour cherries. So they're not sour, but they're, I don't know how to describe them. They're a lot more flavor than the sweet ones. All right. I think this is kind of bachelor cooking, except it's not like it's not like grilled cheese sandwiches or steak and potatoes. What I mean is, like, it's very quick and easy, but it's incredibly delicious and I believe very nutritious. Alright, so I say for the pressure cooker, it's 7 minutes cooking time. I don't know if you can hear it making noise right now. It's warming up. So it takes a few minutes to get it starts counting when the water in there, or when the pressure gets up to a high enough pressure. So right now it's not cooking, it's just warming up. Here's the zucchini for later. Yeah, I do wish I had some onions, but I just didn't have any. I used to put in olive oil. I'd like just put in maybe a quarter cup of olive oil before doing this, before turning it on. But I've just found you don't need it. It adds a nice texture, but I don't know, leaving it out, I didn't feel like I was missing anything. So when it finishes, I'll open it, put the zucchini in, close it again, let it cook for a little while. What I can put on I just put in a bunch of salt, and there's a store near me that has these really good curries. So here's the imperial curry powder. Coriander, cumin, turmeric, ginger, black pepper, red pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, cloves. That's the one I like a little bit more. And then there's the Jamaican curry. Turmeric, whole wheat flour, coriander, fenugreek, salt, cumin, allspice, pepper, and garlic. So I'll put in whichever I feel like. And lately, I've been putting in a lot of, this is nutritional yeast, which is kind of vaguely cheesy flavor. And I didn't used to like it, but I've gotten liking it a lot more. If I hadn't put the lentils in, I could have put black-eyed peas in, because that's the legumes that I happen to have. Although those I would have soaked the night before. And just to show you for another time, I don't know if you can see this. This is, these are wheat berries. So this is wheat before it's been ground into flour. I put it into the Vitamix over here, and that grinds it into flour, and then I can make bread also in the pressure cooker. I'll probably make a video about that. I have this extra chard. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay, so I have this chard. I'll put it into this bag that the other stuff was in before. Put that back in the fridge. Okay. Let me chop this. I mean, now there's not a lot now I would just go back to writing. I don't count this as time doing stuff because, well, I'm just chopping. But once this is going, I don't think of it as cooking time. Might as well clean this. Some chard, I'll just eat it. Goes on the sink. Okay, let me point out, it hasn't started cooking yet, but not only have I cooked and everything's in there, but my kitchen is basically clean already. I like to get the water and anything with moisture off the wood counter. Let me wash this. So this is all the scraps, just a little bit of the tops of the zucchini, a little bit of the beet, a little bit of the garlic skin. Other than that, there's no waste. The bags I got from the store, from other people having wasted them. Ingredients: lentils, garlic, habanero, kale, collard green, 2 kinds of zucchini. Was that it? Water. And then I'll put in some salt and the spices. You heard the ingredients of the spices. I'll put in some nutritional yeast. All right, so I'll stop this because there's really nothing to watch while that's cooking, and I'll read a little bit on the internet or maybe write a little bit, and then I'll restart this when the thing's done. I've just been on the internet and writing and stuff like that, catching up on stuff. I don't know if you can see, it's 2 minutes left to go. It's actually been about 20 minutes clock time since I turned the camera off. So let's see, not sure what to talk about now. When it's ready, I'll open it up, put the zucchini in. I will have to squash it down, and then I won't turn it back on again. I'll just put the lid back on. Actually, I move this forward because it's kind of messed up the cupboard a little bit. Just waiting. Normally I would wait until it beeped, but I saw it was down to 2 minutes and figured, I don't know, let you guys see all the action. Not that there's a whole lot of action. So I don't know if you know that pressure cookers work by putting the pressure really high, and it gets the lentils and vegetables, the steam gets really deep inside the stuff and cooks it very quickly. So it's under very high pressure right now. Before I got it, I was nervous, like I thought it could be dangerous to have one of these things, but they're not dangerous at all. Okay, so now it's done. So I'm going to let the pressure out because you can't open it right now, the pressure is too high. All I do is it's gonna get really loud. And I turn it off. Actually, I have to unplug it now. It's just letting off the steam. The pressure inside is going down. In a little bit, the little pressure release thing will drop. Then I can open it, put this stuff in. Oh man, I wish you could, the smell right now is incredible. It's mostly thyme, you get a hint of that habanero, and then just this rich, deep vegetable flavor. Like I'm really hungry right now because of how good it smells. It's really good. I also don't think I communicated how good those blueberries were. It's really nice having the only snack food around is to be like fresh fruit like this, especially when it's in season like it is. Late July. Late July is when the stuff is the best. Well, I mean cherries and strawberries earlier. I can't tell you how much better it is when everything you eat is delicious, nutritious, the height of season, and you never have to feel guilty or like, am I eating too much of this? Basically, when you're snacking on cabbage and collard greens and fresh fruit, you can just eat of it as far as I can tell, you can eat as much as you want, you stay in shape, and you get full. Like I'm not full now if I weren't doing it on the camera, I probably would have eaten more of the collard greens. But it's just, I just snack on this. Sometimes, depending on what it is, like if I put, cucumbers I wouldn't put in there, but if I cook cucumbers, I'd slice them thin, put a little salt and pepper on, and just nibble on that. These are actually pretty sweet, sweeter than I expected. Still releasing. Yeah, it's just, I'm often full before it's ready, and then this ends up being like the next meal. Okay, it'll probably be boiling. I could just put that in right now, but I like to stir it a little bit. Get the lentils up from below and mix everything around. Partly to get, the flavors are all mixed already. That's part of the high pressure. It also lowers it mixes things up so it gets lower so I can put more of that stuff in. So I don't know if you can see, but this is basically a vegetable stew. I feel like it was about 10 minutes preparation time, not counting the time for the water heating up when I'm doing other things. Now I want to mix these up so just put in zucchini gets down to the bottom, it gets mixed in. I'm going to put some water in because this is like really, really hot right now. And then it'll become more of a stew maybe it's now more like a gruel. I put a couple bowls of water in. And all of this new water ends up getting absorbed by the vegetables. First I would just fill the water up all the way, but I just found it's faster to do it this way. Every time I cook, I do a little bit different than the time before. I learn a little bit more. So now the water's basically filled up. The time all the leaves came off, so I could take the stick out now. Put that in the compost. I could put the salt and spices in now, but I tend to put it in the bowl. So this is still super hot, not super hot, but very hot, which is what I want because it's going to cook this zucchini. I don't know if you can hear me. I don't know, can you guys see this? I don't know if you can see this, but it's a rich, hearty stew made with very little preparation time. And as far as I can tell, very nutritious. Right now I'm just trying to get all the zucchinis below the surface. By the way, the zucchini that I put in before is basically lost inside. It's like probably mostly turned to mush. Okay, so it's a little bit watery now, but that water is quickly getting absorbed, especially by the lentils. Delicious. Now I'm not going to cook it now, I'm just going to put this on. So it's off. I'm only putting it in there to seal it in and keep it stewing. So I'll turn that off while it's stewing, and then in a few minutes I'll probably give it 5 minutes to just get the zucchini moist. It's been a few minutes, let's see. So the lentils are going to be good. It's like all the flavors are already mixed. So the real thing is the zucchini done. Alright, zucchini's a little crispy, but I'm going to serve myself now. And then, so this time it might be a little crispy, but that's okay. And then it'll keep cooking. By the way, the collard greens have this flavor. It's like, it tastes like almost meaty. I don't eat meat, but a rich, complex flavor. Some thyme. Sorry, when I said some thyme, I meant that was the stick and all the leaves that come off inside the mix. I want to get some beets. Alright, so I'm going to cook this. I don't know if you can tell, this is roughly, I don't know, 5, maybe 7 meals left. So I have a little bit of time. So I just cooked, I don't know, 5 or 7 meals. I'll let it keep stewing. It's delicious, nutritious. I'll put in some salt, some Jamaican curry this time, why not? Could have gone either way. Actually, I put in a little extra curry, more than I meant. No problem, just put in some more lentils. It's not like I'm worried about eating too much and getting fat off of lentils, chard, collard greens, zucchini, garlic, stuff like that. And then I put in, increasingly I've been putting in nutritional yeast. If you're not into it, you probably won't get into it. But I don't know, somehow the more I eat it, the more I like it. Now, if you're first starting doing this, I recommend putting in a bunch of olive oil because olive oil gives it more flavor and that richness. But over time, I've just put in less. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. I'm going to stir this up. And look, if I just put these two things away, I have a clean kitchen. All I have to do, wait for this to cool off. Put it in this to put in the fridge. And now I've just cooked